Well, hello everybody. It's a Monday morning, and we're happy to be with you, or I'm happy to be with you. Unfortunately, Matt couldn't make it. Our schedules didn't work; they didn't link up this week. I was gone. It's not Matt's fault this time; it's on me. I was at the Summerfest in Germany in Uberlingen. Um, Absolutely fantastic. Again, we met with many of the not yeah, I guess I don't know if many is the right word. A few of the German families and parishioners from around the country. We had a nice fest, even though it rained and was cold. We still played volleyball and soccer and played some very classical music. We have amazing musicians here in Germany, really incredible, and also talented singers. Who then the next morning, that was this last Sunday, yesterday, sang a wonderful mass in the Franziskaner Kirche in Uberlingen. Really, really beautiful. We'll probably post at least one of the songs from that mass. The Locus Iste is really, really, really wonderful. And that's another thing that we'll do. I'm sure we'll do next year, probably in June as well. So stay tuned for that. Anyone in Europe, the German Summerfest is really fun. You get to meet a lot of nice, interesting people, singles as well as families. It's not like the YAG, but it's something that will you get a chance to meet people from all different types. People from Germany, mostly some people from Switzerland, Austria. I hope sometime in the future, maybe France, Italy, England, etc. But right now it's mostly Germany with a bit of Austria and Switzerland. But please look for that next year. It's definitely worth it to just experience a high mass in that church. It's a wonderful cathedral. You can look it up, the Franziskaner Kirche. You probably look it up, the Franciscans Church in Uberlingen or on Bodensee, or on Lake Garda. No, not Lake Garda, Lake Constance, Lake of Constance. I've been in Germany too long. I think in German words these days sometimes. So that's one of the events we want to talk about, but not much because it's already in the past. That happened this last weekend. Of course, I do want to mention also the pilgrimage coming up in September here in Germany as well. As near Munich. It'll begin at Father Heine's parish. That is in the town of Darching, Darchinng. And then we will take the train to about an hour and a half, and then walk for 2 days to Altötting, which is a wonderful pilgrimage shrine of Our Lady. I have personally heard stories from people who've done that, from my friends, my close friends. I've walked with people who have experienced at least minor miracles from this pilgrimage. Many people have had their prayers answered. It's remarkable. Again, I know I talk about it ad nauseum. It's an incredible experience. It's hard. It hurts. And if you do it with the right mentality, your prayers are so often answered. It's incredible. Our Lady of Altötting is just remarkable, and she answers your prayers. So I cannot recommend that enough. I know many people in America can't do it, but last year we had someone from America, Joey. Just kind of showed up last minute, which was awesome. Anyone who wants to do that, please let me know, Kevin89Davis@gmail.com. I'll give you any more information that you want. You don't have to be from America, obviously. You can come from Europe or wherever you want. I had someone from Brunei, I think, or South Korea, somewhere to also ask about it. We hope to have more and more in the next years. Unfortunately, it hasn't grown much in the past years, but it should. It should. I mean, it really should. It's something that I hope in 10 years from now we have a few hundred people walking at least, because again, I cannot say it enough. It's how we win. It's how we achieve success in our own lives. And true success, I'm not saying, find money or whatever, happiness, but actual spiritual success, which is obviously most important. And of course, that is run by members that are associated with the CMRI. I would say the priest is works with the CMRI, so of course it's a traditional priest. You'll have traditional mass, prayers, etc. So you don't have to worry about that. It is not organized officially at all by the CMRI or by the priest, but they take part. So hopefully more than one this year. We'll have to see. They're there for the spiritual guidance. They're not there to make it a public pilgrimage. It is a private pilgrimage that you can definitely take part in, which we would love to have you. Really, it's It's amazing. So that's the first thing I wanted to mention. That takes place September 6th and 7th. So it's coming up. If you want to come to Europe, you better book it now. Let me know again if you have any questions. Kevin89Davis at gmail.com. All right, a couple other things. Unfortunately, I think the YAG in Cincy, so that's the big YAG that I think most everyone knows about, that was started back in the 70s. Father Chicada had a lot to do with it before he passed away. May he rest in peace. Colleen formerly Eldracker. I forget her name now. Sorry, Colleen. She's been on the show several times to talk about it. I think they have over 100 participants, and I think the registration is closed, so we're not going to talk about that. I don't think they really need our help anyway. They have plenty of people who know about the YAG and are attending it, but of course, we support that as well. A fantastic event that regularly sees marriages come from it. So that is a specifically singles event, and yeah, a lot of good has come from it. So definitely, I don't think they're taking registrations anymore, but if they are, go check it out. I think you can find yagincincy.org or look for it on Facebook or Twitter. But I'm not going to spend too much time on that because, again, it is already closed registration. I do want to talk about another event that's similar to the YAG, and that's going to be happening in Australia. Now, I was in the airport in Australia, so that doesn't count. That's cheating. If you've been only to an airport in a country or a state, you can't say you've actually been to the state. So I've never actually been to Australia. My wife spent time there many years ago, and she has made good friends. We both have good friends from there. People have been on the show. It's been a while, but Damien and Teresa, Matthew, Alexander, really, really good people. And they are part of who are organizing this event. And also, it's kind of one of these, again, funny things that I've never met the priests who are really involved with this. Father Palma and Father Eldracker, who was Colleen Eldracker's brother, formerly Colleen Eldracker. She got married. And but I've heard very good things. Again, I know that they are also very good and very strong in their attempt to unite Catholic singles into matrimony, and I love it. I think that's awesome, and I know many people in Australia had a hard time because there weren't that many Catholics, there weren't that many singles. It was hard to find anyone, and I've also known in the last few years they've been helped by these good priests. So we definitely want to shout that out. I want to share my screen for this one. I'm going to share a tweet from Father Palma, Father Federico Palma. I'm sure many of you know him from Twitter. And the good father says, a connecting traditional Catholic young adults in Sydney, Australia. So that's Sydney, August 22nd, 25th, through the 25th, 2024. And his father says, if you want to get to know other fellow Catholics from different parts of the world, if you want to make new, holy, and lasting friendships, if you want to connect to a new network of strong Catholic friends, if you want to have a wholesome fun and good time with other young Catholics, then this is the place to be. There's more info below. I will share that in a second. Questions, email us at maryhelpofchristianschapel.au@gmail.com. If anyone has any questions about that link, please look at the screen now. Again, maryhelpofchristianschapel.au@gmail.com. And we'll just take a glance quickly at these. I think Father is pretty much telling us again in that one what is happening. That's official. That's Father Eldracker, again, Colleen's brother, who is very tall. I don't know much about him besides he's very tall. I know he's a good priest, and I know he's good at making matches for marriage. So I think that's gotta mean something, right, everybody? So I know Australia is a long way away, but who would come on? If you have the time, if you have the money, go do it. I mean, these are great people. They've been Catholics for many, many years. I mean, one of the original Sedeve contests comes from Australia. Of course, it's Patrick Omlar, or lived in Australia. I think he actually may have been American. I always forget. Sorry to the Omlars. I always forget their story, but I know he was in Australia. I think he may have been from America, but in Australia. Also, Hutton Gibson. I think Mel Gibson's father was one of the original Sedeve contests. So it goes back a long way, and there are many, many good people that I've met personally, and I can highly recommend that you meet as well. So Father says, again, featuring daily masses, meals, and games together, visits to one of the most beautiful cities in the world, which will include a trip to the iconic Sydney Opera House and scenic ferryboat tour of Sydney Harbor. It does look beautiful. Bowling afternoon. Oh boy, bowling. I haven't bowled in a long time. They don't really do that in Germany. That's more, is that an American thing? I don't know. There are not many bowling alleys in Germany, unfortunately. There's everything under the supervision of the Reverend Fathers Federico Palma and Philip Eldracher. And that is, again, a very nice thing that you know that, let's say you're sending your older children, if they're 18, 19, and they're still at home, or I don't know, something of the sort, or if you're young and you're not sure, you are definitely going to be taken care of by two priests, which is, that obviously is fantastic. It's under the patronage of Our Lady Help of Christians. Payment methods due by July 22nd. So you still have time. You still have a good month to register for this one, which, yeah, I understand if you're in America or Europe, you're going to need time to do it for this. You need to be between 18 and 32 years of age. You need to be a state of a conscious Catholic and to be single. It is a singles meeting. So if you're married, sorry guys, I'm not coming. I'm not fitting for this at all. I'm over 32 years of age and I'm not single. I am state of a conscious though. So I guess I do make one of the three, but those are your what you're going to need to be if you're going to go. The prices you can see here. I'm just going to leave it here for a second. You can check this out more. Maybe check it out on Twitter or ask Father if you have any questions. 365 US dollars. That's 3 nights, meals, transportation, visits to the city. That does not include airfare. So obviously you have to get to Australia yourself. But yeah, not too bad. And so there are also discounts for siblings. And again, please check that out you can check it out on Father's Twitter or email him. And again, 365 US dollars. That is not terrible. I don't think. And now I don't know what the prices are for flights, but again, I mean, I know many people out there are searching for a spouse. Many good Catholics are looking for a husband or a wife and can't find them. So why not look in Australia? Again, I can say definitely firsthand, there are many, many good Catholics, and could be your chance. Could be your chance to meet someone who could be your future spouse. I highly recommend it if you can. I know it's hard if you're from America or something. It's a long, long way, but why not? Why not have an adventure and to make it with something as good as this that is also run by good Catholic priests. So definitely check that out in Sydney, Australia, August 22nd through the 25th. And that's actually, I think, winter time in Australia. So I bet you the weather's actually quite nice. Not your 40 degrees or whatever it is sometimes in that country. Though, if you're afraid of spiders or of snakes or something like the sort, then maybe you don't want to go to Australia. It can be a bit of a scary place, I think, in terms of its reptiles. I also wanted to share, for some reason, my Facebook on my computer is not working, so I can't share the link, which is fantastic. So I'm going to do my best I can. I apologize. I had someone comment the other day. They're saying, maybe Kevin, you need to focus more on the quality of your content rather than the quantity. So rather quality rather than quantity. And obviously made me think, it's like, yeah, fair. Kind of stings a little bit. That's a very typical European thing, that they're very open, which are not open. That they're very to the point when they want to be, which I think is good. I think positive criticism is a good thing. And it's a fair criticism. I think there's some times where, yeah, most of the time I just wing it, as you see right now. But that's how I've always done it. It's just how it works. It's how I work. And the podcast has grown. And so why change it? Why make it into this? So yeah, we'll have one video per week and I'm going to put tons of work into it. It's just not how I work. Sorry. I really can't say anything else. It's like, I mean, I understand it probably drives people crazy, drives me crazy sometimes myself, but it's just how it is. I don't have that much time. I work 2 other jobs. I have 2 kids, 1 on the way. I'm a busy guy. So, I do the best I can with the few minutes I have during the day. Hopefully people appreciate that and appreciate what everyone else who works on this channel do. They're also busy people. No one does this for a living. I can tell you that for sure. So, we do our best, but we do actually like part of our not plan, but part of what we do is more quantity perhaps than quality, and that's just how it is. We want to provide a place where people can come every day for good Catholic content and feel absolutely sure that it will be fine. It'll be good. Children can watch it. Anyone can watch it. It's totally fine. Maybe not everyone wants to watch it. Maybe, and okay, sometimes there's adult content, but usually not. But, sometimes it's political. Sometimes it's societal. Sometimes it's theological. It is different. And sometimes not everyone's going to watch one show. I got a little irritated with someone the other day in the comments, like, well, you're talking about women's basketball. How dare you? Kind of a shame on you. It's like, I don't care. Some other people liked it. Some people like some people like sports. If you don't, fine, don't watch it. That's okay. You don't have to watch every video. We have a lot of videos. If you don't like that one, go watch another video. Go watch Father Benedict talk about catechism. That's fantastic. And if you don't like any of it, then that's also fine. Go over to the RCI podcast with Bishop Sanborn and Stephen Heiner. That's also totally great. So, I just want to make that clear that we have thought about it. We have thought about our content, and we're going to continue to do what we do. So hopefully you all put up with that. I hear someone screaming in the background. Hopefully you guys can't. Don't worry, my wife is also here, so whatever that is being handled. See issues with a 2 and a 4-year-old. Somebody is shrieking in the background. All right. The last event I want to show today. There are other events coming up. There's I think several Samurai events. I think there's a vocations retreat in Spokane. There are also boys and girls camps. I think in Omaha, also I believe in Idaho. I got to look more into it. If anyone has any questions about that, let me know. I can get you in contact with the right people. That's one good thing that I do have. I do have contacts from the people who would have the information. If you want to know about girls' camps, boys' camps, vocational retreats, let me know. Kevin89davis@gmail.com. I'm always happy to answer your emails and to get you in touch with the right people. Because I understand that's part of it. It's hard to understand if you're like, oh, I want to send my kids to a boys' camp, but I don't know who to ask. Where is it? Then I understand that can be the hardest thing. You don't know who to contact. That is something I generally do know who to contact, and I have their contact. So email me again, Kevin89davis@gmail.com. Okay, Rocky Mountain Trad. That's the last event I want to mention. That is August 2nd through the 4th. Yeah, through the 4th in Colorado. This is my old parish. Good buddies of mine. Mostly my good friends should be there. I think this is a little different than the YAG and the event in Australia. This is not just for singles. It's really for anyone who wants to come and meet new people. I'm just going to read you their summary about this event. Rocky Mountain Trad, you can find this again on what I'm looking at right now is Eventbrite. I think it's a website and an app as well. You can find it on Facebook as well. Again, Rocky Mountain Trad. So Rocky Mountains, of course, being in Colorado. This is what they say. Dear fellow Catholic Trad, we welcome you to join us for a weekend of faith, friendship, and enjoying the splendor of God's creation in the Rockies. The agenda and FAQs are below. The deadline to register is July 1st. So that's about a week from now, guys. So you better start thinking about it. This weekend gathering will have a cap for numbers, so register early. Once the registration fee is paid, your spot is guaranteed. You can pay for transportation separately. And we can help you find stuff. Okay, they don't really say what it's about. Sorry. Let's see. I'll look through the agenda a little bit. I'm sorry I'm not sharing this on the screen because my stupid computer and Facebook don't want to work together. So Friday, there's a hike to the North Table Mountain Park. First Friday Mass, Our Lady of the Snow Catholic Church. That should be Father Zepeda, Father Carlos Zepeda. If anyone doesn't know him, I'd be kind of surprised. He runs the Catholic Wire. Great priest. Good friend of the show. He's actually, I think I might see him soon, I hope. A very, very good priest. I highly recommend it. He's someone who spent 8 years, I believe, in the monastery in Mexico. And from that seclusion gained a lot of wisdom. It's actually kind of a funny thing from that lack of life experience almost, I don't mean that as an insult at all, but from being kind of interiorly, defined, or whatever you want to call it. He is a very wise priest, and someone I greatly appreciate. And I think he'll be there for some of these events again in Denver and Wheat Ridge. There'll be Denver and Wheat Ridge again. That's Wheat Ridge is pretty much where the church is. There'll be different options. Brew Cantina, Clancy's Irish Pub. Man, I want to go to this thing. It sounds awesome. Colorado's got awesome beer, guys. By the way, I'm a German beer fan, but Colorado has some really good beers. First Saturday Mass, again, at Our Lady of the Snow Catholic Church. Then there'll be a Saturday excursion to Idaho Springs and Mount Blue Sky. Again, a hike, a lot of outdoor activities, which is typical in Colorado, which is the most beautiful place on earth, of course. Saturday night social will be at a private address. They'll provide drinks and snacks and indoor space and a rooftop. So I think that would be, I'm sure they'll play games, a lot of conversation. And then, of course, Sunday, again, will be Mass. And I'm sure there'll likely be a high Mass Our Lady of the Snow Catholic Church. They have a beautiful choir, and they have for many, many years have had a beautiful choir. Maybe also, mention if you would like to sing, that may be something you want to talk with the organizers about. And then you can be dropped off on Sunday at the airport, but make sure you contact the organizers. There's obviously, of course, also pictures, which are great. And they have you can register for tickets for just the registration. Looks like it's $28.52, and you can also get that with transportation, both I think from and to the airport, $65.87. So again, sorry I couldn't share that on the screen. Look it up. If you look it up on Facebook, Rocky Mountain Trad, or on Eventbrite, Rocky Mountain Trad. You can also email me, Kevin EG9 Davis at gmail.com. If you have any other questions about that event, I'd be glad to help you. The organizers actually don't know the official organizer. It's kind of funny. It's like someone from Colorado I don't know, but I'm sure I know many of the people who are part of it and who are organizing it, and I can definitely get you in contact with them if you have any questions. That is not a problem at all. If you want to know more about it, and I think that we all know there are many people out there who are looking for Catholic spouses. This event is not specifically for that, but I think it's partially for that. And I think that it's awesome to see that people around the world, priests and not, are trying to help that, are trying to put together events that are proper, that are moral, and that give you a chance to meet people that you might possibly, be attracted to and marry in the future. And that's awesome. I love it. I really greatly appreciate these people who are spending their time and their money and their effort and blood, sweat, and tears to put together these events, like the YAG, like this event in Australia, like this event in Colorado. Because of course we know that if we, want to fix our society and to make our country Catholic, our countries Catholic again, or for the first time, we have to have families. We have to have children. The families are the building blocks of society, and in able to do that, we need to, make sure that more people get married. And there are many people, again, I know so many good Catholic singles, like normal people. These are not your crazies. Yeah, you have your crazies that are single, and it's like, okay, yeah, they probably deserve to be single. No offense, but it's true. I was likely one of them for a while. But many of these are good people, good young men and women who just haven't had enough people, or haven't met the right person because they don't have that big of a group. Maybe they know everybody from their church for 20 years, and it's kind of strange, more like brother and sister. So they need to find somebody else. Well, go to one of these events. Don't wait. Don't question it. Don't always put it off. You got, I understand it's hard sometimes. Figure it out. Make the time. Find the money. Borrow it if you need to. This is for your future. Definitely do it. And I think, again, that you can do the pilgrimage here. Pilgrimage is great because it is a good way to meet young singles that they are a big part of our group, not by intention, just how it works. You can definitely meet people there as well, or just meet good friends that you'll have for the rest of your life. That's huge for these events. So please, all of these events, go check them out, or email me if you have any questions. I will give you the links, etc. Otherwise, everybody. I appreciate it. I appreciate you sticking with me on this day that Matt is unfortunately not here. And because that, you always get to see my face. That is an unfortunate problem for you guys. That Matt doesn't come, so then you get to see me. It's just easier for me to upload a video than an audio. Don't ask me why. That's just how YouTube is. So that's why I do a video. It's not just because I'm vain and like to see myself. I promise you that. It's because it's actually easier to upload it to YouTube. So if anyone was wondering that, again, quantity, maybe not necessarily quality, but that's how it works over here at the Catholic Family Podcast. We would also, I mean, it's one of those things too. If anyone wants to support us, I really don't love, always pitching for money and stuff, but we do spend a lot of time. We do have lots of different things we spend money on, and a lot of ideas that we want to do in the future that just require money. I mean, it just how it is. I'm sure everyone appreciates that. You spend how much for your Amazon account or Netflix or whatever. If you can spend $2, $5 on us, that would be fantastic. We appreciate it. Patreon is the best place. You can do it on PayPal, or we can find a way to do it in cash or check. It's not super easy, but the best way is Patreon or PayPal. Patreon, just look up Catholic Family Podcast. PayPal, email me, kevin89davis@gmail.com. Anyway, I appreciate you all. We'll be back. I think next week should be fine with me and Matt. We should be back covering. There's some good stuff. We're going to talk about Vigano, Archbishop Vigano, but it looks like it may be an actual no story. Actually, maybe it's just been false that he was going to be excommunicated. So I'm glad we didn't cover that. So I guess that was kind of providential that we didn't cover it, because it ends up looking like it is actually nothing. It was just a fake story to begin with, which is a bit of a shame, because that would have been pretty interesting and a good thing. I think that's, as we all know, the crazier Rome goes right now, the better for everybody. Hopefully Bergoglio decides that, the Latin Mass is never allowed. And then you're going to see some real stuff flying. And that's going to be really interesting if that happens. I certainly hope it does. I know that's inconvenient for many people and it's sad, but it's going to bring a lot of clarity, I think. And I also wanted to someone commented today and said that this podcast can sometimes be too harsh and criticizing and too mean towards people who are not Sede Vacantists. And I think that can be true. I think that is not always false. I think sometimes we do stray a little too far and make it so it's like, we're just a bunch of idiots who don't follow our conclusions, our opinion, our stance that right now there's no pope and there hasn't been since 1958. And I think sometimes it does come across, but really the way we try to approach it is that most of our material is just trying to be Catholic. It's just trying to talk about societal things from a Catholic perspective, talk about the Catholic faith from a Catholic perspective, talk about the saints, talk about these things that are not questionable for anyone. They're not theological opinions. They're not really theology at all. And I think that's important. But sometimes we want to talk about the hard things. And maybe from this, the people we have on, or me, myself, for sure, come in a bit harsh. But I think that's okay. I think it's good occasionally to have a hard-hitting podcast. And maybe it's even wrong. Maybe it's not nice. Okay. But I think at least these hard-hitting ones occasionally makes it so that we think about these things. It's not just because I agree. The comment again saying that, it's not clear who all is Catholic, etc. And that's true. That is absolutely true. I think it is, to be Catholic, you need to be baptized and follow the teachings of the Catholic Church. Okay, who is that? I don't know. Who am I to say individually? That's absolutely the case individually. I'm not going to go around saying, "Hey, you bro, attending the mass here, the church at whereverville." I can't say he's Catholic or not. I really don't know. But I think it is fine to occasionally talk about the positions, and then if you do, why hold punches? We can't always be like, oh yeah, our position is Sede Vacantists, but everything else is fine. No, it's not all fine. I mean, that is ecumenism. That's how the Novus Ordo works. Let's be really clear about that, right? I mean, this whole idea of that, well, you can't express opinions because they're mean. No, that's not true. Look, I do have opinions. I do think the Novus Ordo is wrong. I do think the Society of Pius X is wrong. Now, I do think also you need to be careful individually. I think you need to be careful that you're charitable. But it doesn't mean you have to just handle everything with kids' gloves. Because I think if you do that, that's exactly how you end up where we are. Oh, it's all fine. It's all fine. I don't judge. No, I don't judge the individual, but the actual position we can judge. And when you have someone like Mario Dirksen come on and give 3 hours of evidence about something, I'm sorry, suck it up. Suck it up. Deal with it. And if you have an argument, then fine. Give it to us in the comment section. Don't just say, I'm offended because you disagree with me or because you say, I'm not as Catholic as you or something. And I know for sure none of us have ever said someone is less Catholic than another. I do know that the positions have been clarified or tried to be clarified, and I think that's perfectly fine. But again, it is something we try to do on a rare occasion, not every day for sure. Maybe once a month, once every few months. Then we have a hard-hitting podcast where we do try to express our opinions, our positions, because what's the point if we never do that? Because then eventually we're just ecumenistic. We're just like the Novus Ordo. We're just like, it's fine. Everywhere's a path to heaven. No, there is a truth. Truth is objective. Rome is the Catholic Church, or it is not. Or it's the thesis. Anyway, sorry. I probably shouldn't have added that. Anyway, everyone, thank you very much for listening. We appreciate you all. Check in next week. Matt should be back. And we'll talk about, whatever we feel like. Because again, this is a podcast that I run and I decide what goes on. And I know that sounds arrogant, but again, people say, "Oh, well, you always sound like a jerk when you say I just talk about what I want to." Well, what should I? Everyone has different opinions. Everyone has different things they like or don't like. Some people don't like college basketball. Some people do like college basketball. So if Joe Schmo on YouTube says, "How dare you talk about basketball?" Should I just be like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Oh no, I won't do it again. No, of course not. I can't do that. Or Joe Schmo says, hey, I love it when you talk about baguette. Great. We'll talk about baguette for an entire episode. You see, guys, I hope everyone understands. I have to do it based on what I want to talk about. I have to. Now, I have to keep that in control. I can't talk about crazy things. I can't, just talk every week about sports or no one's going to listen. But you know what? Our audience has grown over the years, obviously. And so obviously the things we have talked about generally have been interesting. So just throwing that out there again, that I know I sound like an arrogant jerk, but it actually is just common sense that I have to talk about what I want to, because if I talk about what everyone else wants me to, then it could be, some people want this, some people want this, some people don't want this, and that's just how it is. And so if you don't like it, then if you have a legit complaint, like saying that we're too mean sometimes, I will hear it. I really do. But if you're just like, hey, don't talk about college basketball because shame on you. Oh, come on. Give me a break. Give me a break. I just don't want to hear it. Because, again, I like sports. And I'm going to talk about whatever I want. Hopefully you guys appreciate that. Or you can think of me an arrogant jerk, because that's also probably the truth. But we do our best to provide good Catholic content that everyone can at least trust to be fine. If you don't like the topic, okay. But you can at least trust it. You can at least say, hey, there's nothing crazy going on. There's nothing against the church. There's nothing against morality. There's nothing morally wrong talking about college basketball, even if it's women's basketball. I know that's a hard statement, but it's true. All right. Anyway, God bless you all. Until next week, please like, share, subscribe, comment. If you have any questions about these events, email me, Kevin89. That's, again, Kevin89Davis@gmail.com.